our page, why don't you?
We have nicked your idea.
Great.
Okay, and we have taken a pivotal, important interview from 1993. Now, I suppose this is one interview I ever remember as a kid. It's about Annie Murphy and Bishop Casey, and they're on the Late Late Show, and the revelations and the attack and all this sort of thing. So whether you know it or you don't know it, you're now going to see. So what we're going to do is roll a little bit, and then we are going to reenact 2 or 3 minutes in our best.
Great, yeah. Love it.
One of the things I'd like to say to Annie at this stage is, Larry is dead, Annie. And you actually got the colour wrong. He was a
no,
white
but I knew
poodle.
the colour was wrong, and I tried to change it.
He was a white poodle.
He was almost white.
Sorry, Gay.
Let's not talk about the colour of the poodle.
No, but I did know it was.
Well, I would like to recall an incident, Annie, that happened, if you don't mind, Gay, that I address Annie on this.
Yes.
An incident that happened the day after your baby was born. I visited you in the Rotunda Hospital, and on that day, you introduced me to a very handsome-looking man. Now, after that gentleman had left, you said to me, "That is the father of my child." I'm sorry, Annie, but that is a fact that happened.
No, I'm sorry, I'm going to disagree. I disagree with you because it's not the
I have a
truth.
very, very vivid memory of it. It's a memory,
Well, describe him, Pat, to
Well, I
everybody.
can't describe him because in actual fact, Annie, you have also a very handsome son, and it was the one thing I did state to myself, oh my God, he looks so like that man.
That is a lie.
Fine, okay. I'm not going to
Then
dispute that with you.
That.
But if you're saying that's a lie, I'm afraid there's a lot of other incidents in that book that I actually could go into details with, but I'm not going to. But I will take one, which you have described in graphic detail, Annie, that the bishop white-knuckled, etc., saw you off at Dublin Airport. Now, actually, on that day, and I'm sure you will remember this, I picked you up with my sister from Helena's house, also your baby, obviously, and we saw you off.
And who was standing when we went
Now,
down?
Sorry, Annie, I'll have to finish. It's on record in the diocesan office in Kerry. Bishop Casey had a meeting that day in Kerry. There was no possible way he could have been in Dublin with you.
You could doctor that. Bishop Casey said...
How can I mean, excuse me now, Annie, there's no way I can doctor diocesan records. I mean, there's no way.
Look, and I went...
No, sorry, excuse me. Sorry, Gay, yes.
Just a minute, sorry.
We pick it up right after this. Mick is going to play Gay Byrne, Dick is going to play Annie, and then we have 2 audience members who will be participating. So when you guys are ready, action.
Now you say that he wasn't there.
No, I'm positive. It's on record. Now, Gay, actually, one final point I'd like to take up with you. She did bring up the question of contraceptives. Now, Annie showed me amongst my friends, including my sister Gay. Now, what she very shortly after she came to Ireland, what she called them is rubbers.
Jesus.
Rubbers. Now, I actually never heard that expression before, and I would be very explicit. And now she also showed me how to use them. Now, Annie, you know, and I know that is the truth.
My sister had brought over...
Not this was long before your sister came to Ireland. Now.
How could I bring rubbers into Ireland? I didn't bring
rubbers
into Ireland. Did you?
I worked in London, and I know all about what goes on in London. I know all about what goes on in London. Well, it is gay.
Well, Annie, can I put one to you? Now, Father O'Keefe has 3 times, as you know, you were on Radio Kerry yesterday, and Father O'Keefe has 3 times said that, for example, that he was never in a situation where he drove the car, and you and Eamon were in the back, snogging.
Yeah, I had a brutal cold, and I was coughing. I had people can deny, and I expect them to deny. I don't.
Well, okay.
That's all right, you know. And he was holding me, and he hadn't been with me when I had a terrible panic, and I felt like my windpipe was closing. And Father O'Keefe drove the car, and Eamon was in the back. Now, this was not, it was not
Necking.
necking. It was not like
He was taking care of you.
taking care of me. Yeah, just.
Right, well, Father O'Keefe has no memory of that. I mean, okay, who's Girly? Who's Girly, please? Girly? Hello, Girly. Now, you wanted to make the point about the leg of the bed collapsing.
That's right, and actually my name is Veronica.
Veronica, whatever.
Yes, Annie mentions me in the book.
Yeah.
Which is obviously why I'm here. And I was a student at Dublin at the time, and she recalls in the incident where I was invited, invited herself and my sister Patricia, who was Bishop's secretary, and the Bishop for a meal. Now, also present was my brother and his wife. Now, I was in it was more of a flat, a one-bedroom flat in London.
Yes, in the book it says that Eamon said to you, Annie, I want to have a private conversation, and we want to go into the bedroom. And it's a private conversation, and you cleared out and let them in, yeah?
Well, in actual fact, I remember the incident well because it couldn't have happened. Couldn't have happened. You see, I had a flatmate who was in bed with a migraine, and all day, and I remember cooking that meal, and actually, what I do remember, Annie, and what I do, and I'm sure you'll remember yourself, because you were constantly doing it. You got up in the middle of the meal and went out and washed your hair, and came back dripping wet. I know. And and that was the thing you were inclined to do at the time, Annie. It was just a thing that you were,
What? In the middle of a meal?
Oh, yeah, regularly.
A lot?
A lot, yeah.
Excuse me. What was that?
Well, is that true, Annie? That you were inclined to get up in the middle of a meal and then go and wash your hair?
Well, maybe not in the middle of meals as such, but you did wash your hair a lot. Yeah?
You're doing it again.
I wash my hair once a day. I mean, I wasn't going to go in there washing my hair 5 times a day. No, I mean,